recently I was competing, and I ended up running into a purple belt who watched one of my matches, and after the match was over and I won my division and everything else, we were talking, got a picture together and stuff, and he was talking to me about the way that I competed versus the way that he competes. So he says that when he competes, he's a bit of a slow starter. He spends a little bit of time in that early part of the match reacting to his opponent before he can get himself going, right? And he says that he would like to be more like me because he watches my matches, and he said, dude, from the very beginning of the match, you're immediately attacking, you're going for your techniques, and you're starting off really aggressive. I would like to be more like that. I want to take it to my opponent. And so he was wondering if I had any tips on that. Now, we ended up speaking at length about this. Now, he also did very well himself. He took second place. But again, he wanted to just get some more info on it. And so he asked about if it's a mindset thing, it's a training thing, or whatever. And so I'm going to give you kind of the information that I gave to him. And hopefully this is useful to some of you guys that maybe are competing or want to compete, or maybe even want to just be more assertive when you're competing in the mats inside your gym. But either way, it could be useful to you. So here's what I kind of relayed to him. So back in my late teens and early 20s, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this, I was kind of needy when I would go on dates. So like I was kind of an insecure guy, and I would go on dates with a situation where if I went into the date with the woman, I needed her to like me, right? I just needed that feedback where she liked me, and if they didn't like me, it didn't feel good because I took it too personal. It wasn't that simply we were just two different people and we just didn't connect. It was that there was something wrong with me, that kind of thing. And I noticed that a lot of times back then, and this makes sense, right? A lot of girls were kind of repulsed by that neediness, because you get in there and you're kind of needy. The woman, she can sniff it. It's not an attractive quality for anyone, man or woman. But later on, as I got older, a little bit more secure in myself, I remember going on dates later on where basically I was very excited to be with the woman. I was very excited to be on the date. I was having a blast with them, and I wanted them to like me. But I was also at the point where I was really secure with myself. So I was like, well, if you don't like me, whatever, I don't care. You can go on wherever you want to because I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And that is a different place with him because then I was so much more relaxed on the dates. I was able to have more fun and be myself and be more, have my big personality. Whereas when I was kind of needy on the dates, I would be very quiet, reserved because I was kind of afraid of opening up. And again, I had a lot more fun and a lot more second dates when I was a lot more relaxed and just I wanted to be there with them instead of needing to be there with them. Now, the reason I share that with you is this is the exact way that I used to be with competitions, where when I used to compete back in the day, I needed to win. I needed to get the gold medal. And if I didn't get the gold medal, if I didn't get the win, I felt terrible. I felt like I was terrible at jiu-jitsu, I suck, and all that kind of negative junk. Whereas when I got older, a little bit more secure in myself, I started competing not because I needed to do anything, because there came to a point where I was like, I don't need to do this. This is for me. This is for fun. When I compete now, I want to be there. I want to do it. I want to hit techniques. I want to win. I want to win a gold medal. I want to be the person standing on the top of the podium. But if I don't, win some, lose some. That's the way it is. That is a much better position to be in because what happens is I am excited to be there. I'm much more aggressive and I'm not hesitant. Just like on the date, I would be reserved to open up to the woman. When I was needy to win, when I was competing, I was reserved with my game. I couldn't open up. There would be opportunities galore, things that I could do, but instead of taking the chance to go for them, I would kind of like hang back because I'm thinking, well, what if? What if I go for this and they stuff it? Just like if I say, what if I tell this person this thing about myself and they don't like it, right? Again, there has to be a point where you just got to throw caution to the wind. And so the mindset shift that I had that was really conducive to me being a fast starter and being ultra aggressive was, I care, but I don't care that much if I win or lose. More of what I'm focused on these days is competing and is to hit my techniques. I want to try to hit the techniques. I want to show my students like, hey, those techniques we work, they work. Or the techniques that we do in class, they actually work. And that's usually what I'm focused on. And I want to win. But again, if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't pan out, who cares? But the thing that I found is that the more I have that mindset, the more aggressive I am and the more relaxed I am and the more techniques I hit. Now, the other thing is the old basic drilling stuff. I can't get over, again, I know that there's a lot of people online that say that this stuff doesn't work, that drilling's not useful, whatever. But I assure you, from my experience and from all the guys that I've trained with that I really, really, really respect, drilling's useful. Now, the way that you drill can be different. You can do passive drilling where you are simply just, doing your movements against a passive opponent who's going with you. Or you can do more of an active approach where, for me, for instance, a lot of my drilling is on my students when I'm rolling. So like even one of my purple belts was telling me this today. He goes, man, that back take that you hit at the competition was sweet. You do that to us all the time in the gym. And I said, yeah, that's where I'm getting a lot of my reps in, where I'm doing it actively with someone. And so some of you guys aren't going to be at that level yet where you have a lot of people under you that are lesser skilled. But if you're like a blue belt or purple belt or whatever, and you have some people in the gym that are less skilled than you, those are your people to sort of work on your techniques with, to drill the reps. You're just rolling with them, but you're actually very focused on the repetitions. And this is something where if you're a higher level belt, like a black belt or brown belt in your gym, you have to do this because it's too easy to just kind of flow roll and just kind of go through the motions. You have to stay focused with what you're doing in the gym. Otherwise, you'll end up rolling with white belts and blue belts and you can just smash them and you can get very little from the training. Whereas if you go into it, you say, okay, when I'm rolling with the black belts, here's what my game's going to be. And then when I'm rolling with the white and blue belts that I can smash, here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to use these techniques. In fact, one of the techniques that I used at the Nogi Pans was a technique I've been working on forever, and I had sort of brung it up by using it on whites and blues, and then purples, and then browns, and then eventually hitting it on black belts inside the gym, and then I was finally able to hit it in black belts in competition. But those are the two things that I think are the biggest things that were helpful to me as far as being a fast starter when I was competing, is one, the mindset change of basically I want to win, not need to win. And then the other thing is drilling my techniques a lot and having a really clear game plan that is, basically a very clear, focused game plan. I know exactly what I'm working on. Here are the weapons that I'm taking into battle, and these are the things that I'm going to use when I compete. And that's that. Again, because when you compete, it's not about how much you know; it's about how well you use what you got. And again, if you don't want either one of these things, I've got an ebook on drilling. It talks about more of this active and passive drilling stuff, and it even has a free video in it with it. It's a full ebook. You can get that for free on my website, or the game plan guide that I have for free. You can check the link down below to get either one of those, but they're here. But otherwise, that is the answer that I gave to him, and that's what I would give to you guys if you're trying to be a faster starter when you're competing. Or again, you can even use this when you're talking about the mats, because the mats every day are sort of a minor competition where we're going for stuff, and a lot of the same feelings that exist in a competition in a tournament exist on a sort of a minor level inside the gym. But yeah, that's the idea. So hopefully that's useful to some of you guys. Hopefully the needy Chewster from 19 years old didn't lose you in the beginning, but hopefully that's useful to you, and I'll talk to you guys next time.